Hi, my name's Lindy Cowling and welcome to this channel. My website is www.lindycowling.co.uk. My email is info@lindycowling.co.uk. And the short video this evening is entitled Supermassive Black Hole. Supermassive black hole. Before I launch into this subject, this is a subject that I have alluded to and tiptoed around over the last 2 to 3 years on video. Now and again the subject comes up again. The last time I referred to this was in the video Dark Shades of Twin Flame, or 50 Shades of Twin Flame, or something like that. I think that was the last time I talked about it in detail, about a state of energy, an inverted state of energy that is fed by prolonged suffering, that is in effect like a black hole. And as you know, if this is the first video you have watched, or for those that have watched many of my videos over the years, because I know some of you have been watching my videos from the very beginning for 3 years now, so thank you for that. This is an experiential channel, which means what I share is through professional or personal experience. Direct professional or personal experience. So, supermassive black hole is not just a metaphysical or spiritual or woo-woo or light worker industry term, but it is an inverted state of energy where people's feelings, emotions, distress, fear, suffering, grief, loss is sucked down into this inversion, this hole of energy, propagated, fed upon, and in order to keep that constant supply coming, almost encouraged in a way to keep going. Let me use a basic example. So a basic example, I use the example when talking about the prolonged suffering involved in the twin flame union template, in that 50 Shades of Twin Flame, or whatever I called it. And I have alluded to this before. There are not only metaphysical and inter and intra-dimensional inverted black holes, but there are such things existing in the linear dimensions that also operate from through the non-linear dimensions, and sometimes from the non-linear dimensions. So where these would be used to great effect in order to harvest or feed upon human suffering would be where there has been, on a site where there has been, for example, or a place in the world where there has been, for example, an area in the world where there has been, for example, definite loss and suffering, and on quite a large scale. And then these inversions of energy can be deliberately set up using very many means, including the architectural design around the area, or a grid of energy placed over the area. And because there had been a legitimate point of suffering in that area multiplied. So a lot of people had been suffering a lot of loss, a lot of shock, a lot of grief. It can be kept going, if you like, because there's a legitimate reason, propagated to keep going. Because it's on a site where there was an initial shock wave. That shock wave, in a way, is replicated by keep stirring the waters. It's a bit like a black whirlpool. This effect, like I say, supermassive black hole. It's an inversion of energy that draws in and draws people in by that grief, that anger, that emotion, that sadness, that loss. Draws in, and not only draws in but feeds upon, harvests upon, on to lesser and greater degrees. It can be the basic, could be and is human emotion, but actually to the degree of doing this to actual souls as well. How long such things have been there and been in operation, I have no idea. I suspect for a very long time. But as people are coming into the heart, coming into heart perception and heart awareness, they begin to see through the hologram, they begin to see through the holographic realities, they begin to see and feel outside of the program realities, and they begin to see and feel the legitimate reality. And that is why what I'm talking about is being, let's say, spotted and discovered more often now, because humanity had to get to a level above third dimensional to spot something that is anchored through third dimension but doesn't come from third dimension. In other words, to spot something that is above the level of third dimension and to identify it, one must be above the level of third dimension oneself, you know, fifth, sixth, those kind of dimensions, to recognize and spot something that is running down through minimum fourth level dimension and coming down into third. I don't want this video to come across as too mumbo jumbo. Energy at its most beneficial is designed to expand. We are designed in energy to expand. And we are an energy that multiplies, that replicates, that expands in this way. What I'm talking about in this case, a supermassive black hole, in terms of inverted energy that is not originating from this dimension but has been anchored, deliberately anchored in the third dimension, for the purposes of promoting the propagation of human suffering in order to provide food. Sounds like something out of a science fiction novel. It would make a great science fiction novel. And it sounds like that. But as people are coming into the heart, and as people are awakening and seeing through the eyes of the heart, feeling through the heart, and hearing through the ears of the heart, as part of the truth and true reality is uncovered, across the board in all areas, across the world, across the board, across all institution, politics, everything. As people are opening up spontaneously in this way in ever increasing numbers, part of that truth coming to light is seeing the opposite to expanded energy, which is inverted energy. Again, as I always say, awareness is key, because when there is awareness, people then become conscious. They are no longer subconscious or unconscious going about in their programmed realities, but they become conscious. And when they become conscious, as conscious awareness, people have a choice. They have a choice whether to continue to feed into that inverted black hole or whether to pull back from it, realizing the truth of what it really is. Because if one is in a third dimensional reality and one hasn't gone through fourth, fifth into sixth, one would never even know such a thing existed, let alone that they have existed for a very long time for the purposes I have described. So really this video is just really for the purposes of awareness, and to say that it isn't a woo-woo speculative hypothesis, but that such places do exist and have existed for a very long time. And as part of humanity awakening, just as we go forward and we expand in ever greater frequencies of love, as we open and expand in ever greater frequencies of awareness, we are going to have the awareness of those shadow sides of reality, those darker sides of reality, those polarized sides of reality. And what we can do about that is to not feed into it and to not buy into it, to not propagate it. And that's, you know, that's the basic thing that people can do. I was going to say something else there, but I think that I'm going to leave the video there. I'm going to keep it short and I'm going to keep it sweet, because this is just really, like I say, it's connected with awakening. It's to put this perspective out there. It's not a new perspective I'm putting out here. I've been alluding to this for a good couple of years on YouTube. And I say, I have been aware of this kind of thing before. And it's almost like giving the heads up that as part of your awakening, people don't often talk about as part of your awakening that you become aware of less helpful expressions of energy and darker forms of energy. Most people don't address that or talk about that, but it is actually part of one's awakening. It's not just to do with one's own shadow. It's not even just to do with the collective shadow. It is to do with, you know, an even bigger picture than that. As you become aware of changes in reality and you come out of those programmed states, it's fair to say that it can be quite shocking to discover, and it is very shocking to discover for many people, what they perceived things to be is very, very different in reality. Now, it's all part and parcel of, we are in the era, the golden era of the truth coming out. And this is just one angle of a vast subject to do with the truth coming out on absolutely everything and every walk of life. And this is just an energetic perspective on that. And to say that just as you have expanded, almost extroverted, expansive energy, you also have inverted energy, deliberately orchestrated inverted energy, designed to keep people in loops of suffering in order to provide energetic food. And on that note, it sounds like a science fiction novel. I will love you and leave you. Thank you as always for watching. Thank you for resonating. I will probably, after this video, just bring out one more short video this evening. I think I'll bring out one more short one, and then that'll be it. I'll probably be back on camera again in about a week. Until then, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Take care. Bye.